that was awkward.
Welcome back, everyone, to the third installment of our Awkward Encounters podcast. I'm here with Noah.
Hello.
And I'm Jared, and we have a special guest.
For the first time in the history of our illustrious dynastic endeavor of the Awkward Encounters podcast, we have a special guest, our good friend Jay.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
That one's Jay.
That's Jay.
Yeah.
So you can discriminate our voices. Yeah. You continue. You're doing the intro.
Okay. So I guess welcome back. We're gonna get into some talking in a little bit, but first we're gonna recap some updates. So first of all, we have a bigger announcement. Do you want to wait until the end to do that one, or do you want to do it now?
We can just talk about it now.
Okay. So basically, we applied to get the Level Up program of Facebook Gaming, and we were accepted into that program.
Woo!
Woo!
Yay!
We did it.
Yeah.
And so that means we're basically the big dogs now, right?
Yeah, like mini partners, basically.
Yeah. So they basically allow us to stream on Facebook, and we can actually receive like money from it now. We can get other like support and stuff like that.
Special beta tests for when they roll out new features and stuff.
Exactly. Yep.
You know, all kinds of cool stuff. It only took us like a month to get there, so that's pretty sick.
So
thank you to everybody who helped us out with that. Yeah. Should I recap what happened on the YouTube end?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. So on YouTube, we posted episodes, I think 5, part 2, and the finale of Star Wars. Maybe both parts of episode 5. I don't know. But we finished Lego Star Wars. That's all up as of the moment you're hearing this.
Mm-hmm.
We are on to bigger and better things. We have a new Let's Play already recorded. The first 3 or 4 episodes yesterday. We'll post a teaser on Facebook on Monday, which is the day after this gets posted.
Right.
And then Tuesday will be the first episode of that. So that's exciting.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
I think.
And then we did stream on Facebook last Friday. Would you like to talk about that, Jared?
Yeah, we streamed we streamed Manual Samuel, which was a very fun game. Noah played it, and I played it.
Yeah,
it was
we
co-op.
played it together, yeah.
Yeah, and it was very fun.
We basically just controlled a human trying to not go to hell.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I was his limbs, and
I was his breathing and blinking. And I also controlled which direction we walked, and occasionally other things.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
No, it was great. It was a good game. I enjoyed it. We'll be live this Friday. Don't know what game yet, but every Friday we're live on Facebook. It'll be our first stream as members of the Level Up program, so that'll be pretty hype.
That's true, yeah.
A special occasion for all of us. And so today's topic is something we touched upon in episode 2. We wanted to get into it, but we didn't have enough time. It's regarding not tabletop games.
Wow.
No, I have no experience in tabletop games. Candyland is one of the greatest games ever devised.
Tabletop games, that's something I could get into.
No. So
that's not what
like
we're talking about.
top down / co-op hack and slash or whatever split screen games.
Yeah.
Just games you would sit and play on a couch with somebody.
Couch co-op.
Couch co-op, yes, essentially. We wanted to get into it last week, but we figured we'd dedicate a whole episode to it. I want to preface this conversation by saying this podcast is not going to be exclusively gaming related, but it just happens to be
Right.
that our first 3 episodes are gaming related, but we do hope to kind of branch out and tackle some different subjects at some point.
Yep.
But in the end, we're just talking about things that we actually want to talk about, and as of right now, it's gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get the ball rolling. So why don't we just, how do you want to start this? Should we just bring up a game? Should we just talk about our personal histories of those games? Or
I think Jay should start maybe with just one of the games that you feel is important to you in this like area.
How about this?
Sure.
We'll take it a little step further.
No.
Okay. So in our first episode, Jared and I talked about our histories of gaming and like the stuff that we played. So just so like we can kind of get an idea of like where you come from as a gamer, just kind of go through like the history of consoles you had as a kid up until now, and like the games you played and stuff, and then we'll kind of like ease into like the more specific topic.
Yeah, sure. So the first console I really ever remember owning and playing was the Nintendo 64. My sister got it for Christmas, probably when I was 1 or 2 years old. I can't quite remember when it came out, but that's the first one I really remember playing. For some reason, the first game I really remember playing was like this Elmo racing game. I have no idea what it was called, but all I remember is just driving.
For the N64?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I remember driving in space very specifically, playing as, I don't remember what his name is, but the blue dude from Sesame Street.
Oh.
Yeah,
Grover.
Grover.
There you go.
So yeah, kind of from there, played a lot of Pokemon Stadium
Yes.
on the N64. Yeah, Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Puzzle League. I don't know if either of you know
I do
that,
not.
but
Ah.
Pokemon Puzzle League was a lot of fun. And then probably when I was in early elementary school, we got what is still one of my favorite consoles, which is the GameCube.
Yeah.
Yep,
Nice.
GameCube, fantastic console. Me and my brother had all the classics for it: Super Mario Sunshine, Paper Mario, and then a few games I'm not going to talk about yet because they're on my list.
Oh,
But,
nice. Okay,
yeah.
I'm glad you saved that.
Yep. And then we also had the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advanced. I remember my parents would buy me and my brother the Pokemon games as they came out, and we would each get different versions of them. So, like,
Oh, yeah.
if he got Pokemon Silver, I got Pokemon Gold. That was the first one I remember playing, like, fully through. I got Sapphire, he got Ruby, so we always got the opposite games.
It was
and-
like that with my sister.
Yeah. And we would both always fight with each other about which one was better, because obviously I thought Gold. Obviously, Gold is so much better. But,
That is objectively true, yes.
yep. And then from there, we got a Nintendo Wii when I was in 6th or 7th grade, I think. Never really got too into that. I remember playing Wii Sports, Mario Kart, Super Smash Bros, Brawl,
Yeah.
I think was on the
Yes.
Wii.
Yep.
Yep, that was a lot of fun. And then from there, I think in 8th grade, me and my brother pooled up our Christmas money and got an Xbox 360, which
Ah.
since then, Xbox has kind of been like my gaming life, I guess. So I remember we got Halo, I think was the first thing we got for it.
Remember which one?
Halo 3.
Yeah.
Oh,
Halo
yeah,
3,
okay.
that's a bunch of
Classic.
fun. We played a lot of Halo, played a lot of Gears of Wars. This is my first like introduction to Call of Duty. I'd never played one before, I think Modern Warfare 2.
Nice.
And then I eventually wound up getting an Xbox One. I played a lot of Destiny on Xbox One with my friends online, especially my 3 years ago now. I think was when Destiny came out and when I played it a lot. But yeah, that's kind of just brief overscope of my gaming. I now have the Switch. I've had it for about a year. Absolutely love that console. They came out with some fantastic games I've really enjoyed. Super Smash Bros, Ultimate, obviously. Hyrule Warriors, shout out to that game. I play that so much. I think I have the most hours played on it. And then Mario Tennis Aces.
Oh, yeah.
I was absolutely obsessed with this back in the fall, and I actually reached top 100 in the country, I think, for August 2018 ranking. So I definitely played that game more than I should. And then I guess one big game that I kind of forgot about that's been a part of my life since like elementary school, probably shouldn't have started playing this back then, but was World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay.
I played so much World of Warcraft. It was bad. My parents wound up having to like put security like locks on it so we could only play it during the weekend. I think we got it when my brother was in 6th grade, so I was in 2nd grade, and totally shouldn't have been playing this back then, but I played it way too much. I would always reach the max level when the new expansions came out, like right away.
Wow.
And I still play it on and off to this day.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's kind of a brief overscope of my gaming history.
Sweet.
Thank you. That was nice.
Thank you for that. Yours is, I think, overall more similar to mine than Jared's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like going from Nintendo to like it didn't seem like you touched any Sony consoles at any point.
No.
Yeah, I had a variety. So I did Nintendo 64 was my first console, to PlayStation, to Xbox. So I had the whole journey.
We all did own an N64 at some point though, which is pretty great. Like that console is.
That is one of my favorite consoles of all time.
Yeah.
That
Fantastic.
and the PlayStation 2 were fantastic consoles.
Yeah. So kind of just to jump into the topic of the entire podcast, which is couch co-op games and such. Would you like to get the ball rolling, Jay, and kind of just throw out a game that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, sure. So the first game that I had on my list goes back to the GameCube.
Nice.
It was the first one that I remember me and my brother actually got along playing a lot. So that game is Lord of the Rings: The Third Age.
Oh, okay.
Sure,
yeah.
okay.
Either of you have played that before, but it's this super cool game. It came out after, I think, the Lord of the Rings trilogy was complete, and basically it was like a made-up storyline, and you would play through the entire story of the 3 books or the 3 movies as these fake characters, and you would like level up your characters, and there are 4 different characters. I can't quite remember what their names are, but me and my brother used to like to control 2 of them, and it was a turn-based game. Just a lot of fun. I remember we used to fight over who would control the map, and when one of us would control the map, we'd be upset with where the other one was going, so we didn't think it was the right way, and it was just a whole process. But that was probably the first couch co-op game that I can really remember playing like all the way through and playing a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, I mentioned this in the first podcast, but my mom bought my dad the original Xbox when I was 3. It was like 2001. And I watched them play a lot of those games back in the day, so a lot of those games are on my list because I ended up playing them. But they were really into Lord of the Rings. Like, they saw the movies when they came out and stuff, so they played... I don't remember which one. There was a Lord of the Rings game that they played all the time. My mom was always Legolas, and my dad was always... Aragorn? Is that his name? No. Aragorn? The guy with black hair?
The like main...
I haven't...
Aragorn.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I, like, full disclosure, I've not seen the movies all the way through.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yikes.
We'll talk about that at another point. That's not what this is about, but I'm just saying, like, I always watched my parents play those games, and I just vividly remember, like, even as a kid, like, my mom always played Legolas, and my dad always played Aragorn.
Yes.
Aragorn.
So Aragon is a book.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. I just wanted to throw that out there because I just remember that.
Yeah. So I
Who's
guess
next?
I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go for
Okay.
it. Okay. So. Let's see. The thing is, most of my gaming experience, as I've talked about previously, was because of my friends playing a lot of games.
Yeah.
And so I've played a lot of couch co-op and just a variety of things like that. Actually, though, one of the first like ones I played all the way through was this. I apologize because I don't remember the name at all. It was an indie game that was available only like for download on the Xbox 360. We first played the demo and we played it like 8 different times, and we were like, okay, you know what? Fine, we're just gonna buy it. It was like $2. It was this cheap, like tiny little cartoon top-down dungeon crawler where like there was very little like artwork. It was a super simple game, but you played as these like knights, and you just got like leveled like power-ups and things like that, and you just went through this dungeon and you fought goblins and orcs and a bunch of different guys, and it was just a super fun like game. And I played that through, I mean, probably like 10 to 15 different times because it was just such like a fun experience. And I wish I knew the name because I would totally play it again because it's just it's the era of gaming where it didn't have to be complex to be fun.
Yeah.
It was just a fun experience. You sat next to your friend, just the two of you, and you just fought against AI, and it was just a fun time.
Yeah, so that reminds me of one of the games that I have on here, which I touched upon last week very briefly, but Baldur's Gate.
Oh, yes.
Which I watched my parents play for a long time, and I finally was able to play. I got the original Xbox from them, so I went back and played all the games that they had. So Baldur's Gate was very much like that, like, like co-op. I think you have up to 4 people. Like, they had different classes of like characters and stuff like that, and you had like, I don't remember too much about it. I'm just bringing it up for this nostalgic reasons of like, I don't know. I just remember it.
Yeah.
I thought I could talk more about it, but I don't remember it anymore. So I'm gonna bring up a visual aid.
Yeah, I definitely played Baldur's Gate. I don't know if
you know anything about it.
but...
Let's see if I can find like the cover of it.
Now, Baldur's Gate is a Dungeons and Dragons title.
Is it?
Yeah, if I'm remembering correctly, Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, all right. Now this is bringing me back.
Yeah, so Baldur's Gate is actually a module for the role-playing game Dungeons and Dragons that was turned into a video game. And they did this a couple times with Dungeons and Dragons video game.
This is severely bringing me back. This is the cover of the first game on the Xbox original.
Yeah,
Um,
I think so.
and then
I'm gonna look
number
up-
2.
I'm going to look into it.
And so
looks familiar.
just kind of to give some context here, this is what your HUD looked like. In the game, you had 3 bars. It was your stamina, magic, and health. And you just you went from world to world. You killed creatures and stuff like that. You gathered I really like the inventory part of it. Like, you had to consistently just check and see what weapons were better than others and stuff like that. And the levels were for that time, and I'm sure it's like that with other games around the same time. They were really complex for their the context of when they came out. So those games I just really look back fondly, and I have the original Xbox at my house, and I'd love to break that out and play these games again. This was Baldur's Gate especially. It's 4 players, but it was just so good and so simple that that's not a thing anymore. You don't jump online and you do split screen against one person.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You don't sit next to someone, and it's just not the same anymore. Yeah. But I feel back then, those kinds of games were even more rewarding because of the fact that you were right in front of the people you were fighting.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of fights happened with you. And
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, those were that's
screen looking. That's a thing that doesn't exist
No.
anymore. Yeah. All right. I guess.
What do you got, boy?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about. Let's see. Next, I'll talk about Lego games.
Okay.
So we're familiar with Lego games. I would
a little
imagine.
bit.
But Lego games in general were a huge co-op experience. There were so many. I had the Harry Potter one. I had the Indiana Jones one. I had the Star Wars. I had all these major ones. And then even later on in the Nintendo's career, even with the Wii U, they had some Lego experiences, including Lego DC Universe or whatever.
Oh, there's so many now.
Yeah, and so those are definitely a big co-op experience for me, was doing those campaigns with someone else and having to run around and get all the gems and make sure that you don't fall off the edge or whatever. Looking at you, Noah.
You also fell off the edge several times.
That's fair.
We'll review the footage later.
But it was Lego games are definitely a huge you sat next to someone, they had puzzles, they had combat, all these different things, and each one usually had a unique mechanic to it, especially when you get into the later ones. Each character would have an extremely different dynamic. So especially with the Batman ones, you'd have Batman had a bunch of different suits, and so did Robin, and Clayface was super strong, so he could move certain things. So, yeah, I think the Lego games were the peak of my childhood couch co-op gaming. I played it a lot with my dad, and so that was really fun. But yeah, I think that's a major thing that Nintendo had going for it back in the day.
Yeah, this is good stuff. I didn't really play many Lego games up until now. But one Lego game I did play, which segues very well into my next game that I want to talk about, I played Lego Rock Band a lot.
Ooh.
Rock Band.
Lego Rock Band was a thing. It was the same as regular Rock Band, just with Legos. It had legitimate songs and stuff. It wasn't easy or anything. It was just another Rock Band game. And that's the next topic I want to talk about. Kind of game is Rock Band.
Yeah.
If we can count that as couch co-op, which I think you can, because you're with people in person, playing a game. Rock Band influenced you just. If I went back to my Wii, you'd see 2 things on my play history. Number 1, Call of Duty Black Ops 1 would have probably over 1,000 hours on there. Under that, Beatles Rock Band and Rock Band 2 probably have equal, the same amount as Black Ops 1 together. I played so much of both of those games. Just that was the only game I was playing from 6th grade through 7th grade until I got Call of Duty. I went GameCube and then Wii, which meant Rock Band, and then Call of Duty. But, I remember playing Beatles Rock Band when it came out with my dad. We would do co-op, I had 2 guitars, and I made him bow at the end of every song like the Beatles did. I was 10, I think, or 11, so it's not as cringy as it sounds.
Yeah.
I was still a kid, but I made my dad bow like the Beatles after every
Right.
song, and I ended up getting the drums, which I touched upon. Like, it actually helped me play real drums.
Right.
I learned how to play drums because of Rock Band, so like, it would be like I would never not forget to mention that on a list like this, just
Yeah.
because. How important it was. And when my friends came over, I didn't have a huge palette of games. Like, I really only liked Rock Band at that point, so whenever people came over, we'd be playing Rock Band. I'd get on the drums and impress the shit out of them, playing on, like, Harder Expert, as, like, a little 12-year-old. I don't know how much Rock Band either of you played back in the day, but I owned all the games that came out at that point and had all the peripherals. I wish at some point I could get the newest like Rock Band game for the Xbox, have 4 people over and just jam out, because that's just something like I think an underappreciated genre nowadays,
Yeah.
because
Absolutely.
like now we have like TikTok and stuff, and that's how people make music together or whatever. I don't
Right.
know, but back in my day, we all sat together and we shrieked and made really bad sounds and got booed off the stage, and it was just a time I miss a whole lot. I do love the Rock Band games so much, and I'd like to own them again sometime
Yeah.
on the newest consoles.
Yeah.
Just it's a big investment. It's a lot of money to
It
get
is,
all
yeah.
this stuff for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to go on
Yeah,
to your
yeah.
next
We
game?
we got a pattern here.
Yeah, sure. So the next game on my list, also on the GameCube, was Pikmin 2, specifically the Versus mode inside of Pikmin 2. This
Yes, I also played that. But
Yeah.
you go ahead.
I feel like before Rust on MW2 was a thing, like if me and my friends or me and my brother or me and my sister want to settle some beef, we'd go on to Pikmin 2, go on Versus mode, and just slaughter each other on Pikmin 2. It was a ton of fun. Probably logged way more hours inside of the Versus mode than we logged inside of the actual campaign. There's this one specific map that I remember where it had like pencils and notebooks on it.
Yep.
And that was the one that me and my brother or me and my friends would always play on. Like I said, if there's ever beef, that's where we'd go to settle it. And yeah.
Yeah, I have that game with me actually. It's in my drawer. I started the campaign recently. I played a little bit with my sister back in the day. I don't even remember how I got the game because I never bought it. I don't know how I procured it. But we definitely played like the 1v1 mode like
Yeah.
a decent amount, but I think I was too young to really feel nostalgic for it now because like I didn't play it that much.
Right.
But I do remember playing it with her. My sister was always bad at everything that we played, so I always beat her anyways. But yeah, Pikmin is another underrated franchise.
Super underrated.
Yeah, and hopefully we get a Pikmin Switch game at some point.
I'd love that.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
yeah, it's good stuff. If you ever want to 1v1 me on Pikmin, I have it. So
All right. Down.
we'll settle this at some point.
Settle some beef.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So my next one is probably one that we all share, which is Call of Duty Zombies mode.
Oh, yes.
So Zombies mode was a huge part of my couch co-op, especially the earlier zombies. So I played a lot of Black Ops 1 Zombies was definitely like my most played one. But I also played the World at War Zombies mode, and I also played Black Ops 2 Zombies.
Yep.
That was kind of when I got away from it after Black Ops 2 Zombies. Like I just didn't play a lot of console gaming after that. But
Yeah.
couch co-op gaming, I remember so many nights of just playing Black Ops 1 Zombies, just going as hard as we could. You know, we'd last for, 75 rounds. It's like 3 in the morning. We were like, we can't stop now, crazy things like that. And so that's just one of the best memories, is just getting over with a bunch of guys and just like huddling down in front of an Xbox and just putting your everything into just zombies.
Yes.
Doing trains, and we learned all the routes and how to get the power on and like when to do it.
I hope you learn how to get the
specifically.
power on if you're going around 75.
Well, the thing is, like, we got to the point where we would like mess with things. We'd be like, what if we don't turn it on for 75 rounds? We just like go as long as we could with like only pistols. We had to like
Yeah.
vary it, and it was just such a fun like experience. And that couch like co-op feeling of like, oh gosh, one of us is down, the other one has to train for like an hour
Ugh.
to like
kill everything.
kill
yeah.
everything and leave one crawler and come get you up so you can go and buy a bunch of stuff again. It was just such a good feeling.
I have such fond memories. I don't know about Jay, but that was Call of Duty Zombies were on my list.
Yeah.
I actually didn't even like the zombies at first because I was all about the multiplayer when I got Black Ops 1
Same.
on the Wii. They did have zombies on the Wii. They had Kino der Toten, but they didn't have any
Oh.
other maps. Like 5 didn't come with it. I don't know if you remember 5.
Yeah.
The Wii didn't get any DLC, so Kino was literally my only option on the Wii.
Huh.
But I got really into it after a while. Ooh, I just hit the mic. I'm sorry,
Oh,
viewers
gosh.
or listeners. And then one of my friends got a PS3, so I was able to play Ascension on Black Ops 1.
Oh, yeah.
Ascension is still to
Yep.
this day one of my favorite maps. They recently remastered it on Black
Absolutely.
Ops 3.
Yep.
It's absolutely phenomenal. Ascension was so good. Mob of the Dead on Black Ops 2 is another favorite. I think Black Ops 2 was like the peak of Call of Duty Zombies. Like every map
For
was
you.
just, I think in general, but I don't know. Black Ops 2 just was, I don't know if you remember any of the maps, but it had like Die Rise, Mob of the Dead, Origins was an amazing map. I put so much time into Origins, getting all the staffs and stuff with my friends. Yeah. Call of Duty Zombies, unbelievable experience. Something we should stream at some point.
Yes.
Absolutely
definitely.
should do that.
Yeah. This isn't. It is Call of Duty, but it's not zombies. Do you remember on Modern Warfare 2 the like the many side missions that you could go and do, and you'd like try and have to get like 3 or 4 stars on them at
Yes,
all?
Yes.
Spec Ops.
Yeah, Spec Ops.
Spec
That-
Ops.
Oh my gosh,
I
totally
loved
forgot
those as
about
well.
that. Yeah, Spec Ops was a great. That was so fun. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot that that was a thing. I think they had that in Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah.
as well.
I was gonna say they did, and that was really fun. I didn't really play it split screen with anybody, but I played it online a lot, where you just like you shot things, got money, and you had to upgrade all your stuff and just survive waves.
Yeah.
Pretty simple, like concept, but it works really well for Call of
Yeah.
Duty. And now not that I'm like it's inherently a bad thing, but nowadays Call of Duty has 3 huge game modes. Like Black Ops 4 has Battle Royale, Zombies, and multiplayer. There's no campaign or Spec Ops or whatever. It's just like 3 modes that you can you could pick one and probably get your money's worth if you play it enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Spec Ops really was underrated and kind of
Yeah.
underappreciated. So I'm glad you brought that up because
Yeah.
I wouldn't even have thought of that. I didn't play it a whole lot, but like I did a pretty fair amount on MW3.
I did a lot. I did a whole playthrough. I think it was with MW3 with a friend of mine, and we just tried to get like the max stars, whatever
Yeah.
it was, like on every mission, and we would like replay it like 40 times in a row until we
Yeah.
got the perfect like amount of headshots or whatever it was needed to like win that stage. It was like it was such a good time.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, and actually, going back to Call of Duty again, not zombies or Spec Ops, the just like private sessions against like the bots, the AI.
Combat training.
Yeah, I played so
Yes.
much combat training on Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. We would put them on the hardest difficulty, and we would just go crazy.
I
It
do,
was
yeah.
just so
Yeah.
fun.
I did like kill races with my friends and
Yep.
stuff, like against veteran bots and see
Yep.
like who'd get the most kills at the end of like whatever period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also not much of a thing anymore either.
No.
No.
I don't do that anymore, but I did when I was a kid. It was just different, I guess.
Yeah, no, I used to. Oh, we would either put them on the hardest difficulty, and then it would be like a 2v like whatever 9.
Yeah.
What was the max, I think. Or we would put them on the lowest difficulty, and we would just run around and just have fun, just slaughtering people with like only knives or like only throwing knives or whatever it was.
Yeah,
the
we do
tomahawks.
like snipers only,
Yep.
or like
Yeah.
you had a trick shot for the
Yeah.
last kill,
Yep,
all
you
that
did
stuff.
the, like, there was one map, I think it was jungle, or it was in the jungle, and there was this cliff spot that the bots didn't know how to get to.
Oh, on Black Ops 1?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was definitely jungle. I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking
And so
about.
there was this
Yeah.
cliff spot, and we would just
Yes.
sit up there and just like snipe at these veteran bots because they didn't know that like they weren't coded to go up to that area.
That's kind of
So
funny.
you didn't have to worry about your back, so you just sit there and just like shoot, and like that was how we practiced like quick scoping and all these different things that we'd bring into multiplayer. But that training mode, I put probably like hundreds of hours into just training mode.
Yeah.
Same. I think my favorite thing about it was that like you could level up
Mhm.
in combat training, which I
Oh,
don't know why.
so
I
you
just,
had like a separate grind going
yeah,
on.
I just thought it was such a cool concept that you could level up through it.
Yeah.
Jared.
I guess.
Wait.
Well, no, I brought up Call of Duty.
Oh, so
Yeah.
and then
so
it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're up.
So one that I wanted to bring up that you may be familiar with, I'm sure you are. It's kind of specific, but there's a reason behind it. Super Smash Brothers Brawl Subspace Emissary mode.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. Yeah. So I mean, so Smash Ultimate is a fantastic game, of course. Like, it's a Smash game. I haven't even touched the what is it called? The campaign. What is it called?
Oh,
The
War
Dra-
of Light.
World of Light.
World of Light.
From what I understand, it is not amazing. It's just
It's
kind of
alright.
like you're just kind of going through stages and beating people up. Subspace Emissary on Smash Brothers Brawl was like robust,
Yeah.
absolutely like 30-hour campaign,
Yeah.
cutscenes, like
A great story.
great story,
It was-
cumulative. Like you would, meet people along the way. They join your team, and the best part was the co-op thing, where like you'd have a cutscene, and then you got to choose who you were gonna beat in that fight.
Yes.
So like sometimes you'd have up to like 5 people to choose from. So like my sister and I played through Subspace Emissary. So good. I don't get why Nintendo won't go back to that formula
I
again
really
of like
want them to.
a really long narrative of just like fantastic. Like the story made sense. I've only played it once, and that's how
Oh.
much I still like remember it because I never owned the game. I got it from loans at the library back in my hometown, and yeah, like I only played it once, and that was enough for me to like just still like look back on it so fondly. Are you good?
Yeah. Sorry.
All right, I poisoned our guest.
I'm good.
Our yes. But yeah, like that I only played it once, and I remember so much about it just because of how good it was. I'm sure you had some similar experiences,
Yes.
judging by your reactions.
The bosses on it were so much fun. Do you
Yeah.
remember fighting, like, I'm probably going to butcher his name, because apparently I butcher every Pokemon's name, but Rayquaza?
Yeah, I mean that's
Okay.
how I say it, but I
Okay.
guess it's Rayquaza.
Yeah, I remember... what?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just-
but,
Continue.
Yeah, anyways, the bosses on that mode were fantastic.
Oh.
Like, I distinctly remember that fight with Rayquaza. And I feel like I remember fighting Ridley on it, too, and such a fantastic game mode.
Absolutely. And I don't hesitate to say I think that was Nintendo's Infinity War. Like they literally like if you think about it, they
Yeah.
had this like one villain who was running the whole show and all of these different teams of people would come together and
Yep.
like in different plot lines and then meet up at the end.
That was just the beautiful thing about
Yep.
it. It was just so hype every time like a character popped up and that was like that lower thirds popped up and it said their name. They're like, "Let's go, Lucario's here" or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like,
Like-
oh my gosh, Kirby's with like Link and they're fighting together. Like this is so hype.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you brought that one up.
Was that on
Me
either of your
too.
lists?
No.
It wasn't on my list.
Yeah.
It should have been.
It
Yeah.
absolutely
I played
should
through
have
it
been.
8 to 9 times.
Yeah.
Like just fully played through
Yeah.
it. Loved that game.
I played through it so much.
I'd love for Nintendo to go back to that for the next Smash.
Yeah.
Like they already add so much. I'm sure it takes a lot to write and make
Yeah.
a narrative storyline. But man, I would eat that shit up.
Yeah,
me
they would
too.
have a lot of nostalgia for that because I think that game mode alone carried Brawl from being like a meh. Like it's not regarded as one of the best Smashes. Like it's not melee in competitiveness, and it's not like as extensive of a roster as some of these newer games.
Yeah.
But Subspace Emissary alone was like enough to make people go, "Whoa, this is
Yeah.
sick."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird that it's been 10 years since that came out.
Yeah.
I really hope they go back to that sort of that formula.
Yeah,
I would love that.
absolutely.
Yeah, so that's Subspace Emissary. That's mine. What's next for you, Jay? You got anything?
Yeah, so next on my list is Fable 2 and 3. On the
Fable.
Xbox 360. Fable, I honestly believe, is another one of those highly underrated game series. The story in all of them is fantastic. I've never played Fable 1. I probably should because I've heard it's also just as fantastic, if not even better than 2 and 3. But the story in both of them is just so awesome. You can do so much in it. Like, you can own a house. You can, like, I remember to make money, there's this thing called, like, Fiddle Warriors, which was kind of like an off thing of, like, Guitar Hero, where, like, you press the buttons as they're coming down the screen, and, like, you could level up through the different jobs in it to make money. And I remember particularly in Fable 3, there's, like, these hammers and swords that you picked at the beginning of the game, and you progress like your skills with your hammer or your sword, and throughout it, like it would grow into more and more of like this awesome weapon.
Yeah.
So like it started out as just like a rinky-dink like hammer, and then by the end of it, it was like a friggin' hammer that you'd see in like Lord of the Rings or something like that. And it was co-op too, which I think was really the best thing about it. So one of you would play as like the boy or girl version of the hero, whichever one you picked, and then you could have a friend drop in at any time and play split screen. They drop in as the other hero, and they'd have like the opposite weapon that you have. It's just such a fantastic game, and I feel like highly underrated, and I would love to see them make another Fable game. But me and my brother put so many hours into both Fable 2 and 3.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Fable 3 because it was free with the Xbox Gold for a while, so I have it. Played a little bit of it, and like, just I don't think I fully appreciated it. I'd love to go back to it. I do have Fable 1 and 2 because of the Xbox Game Pass, so that's something to consider if you ever want to try it. I don't know if it's co-op, but maybe you and I can do it up or something.
Yeah, it is.
The first Fable is co-op?
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't say like way too much about it because I haven't fully played it, but yeah, good for you. I'm glad you. Good job, man.
Yeah.
Good for you.
But yeah, I particularly remember the Fable 3 story was a lot of fun. It was kind of like this like uprising, so like your dad dies and then your older brother takes control of the kingdom, and like he's turning the kingdom into like a really shitty place to live, and there's like just this huge uprising, and you lead like a rebellion against him, and you recruit all these people.
Which one is this?
Fable 3.
Yes, I remember that from when I played a little bit.
Yeah, you have to go around the kingdoms recruiting the different like people to be in your army to fight against your brother, and then just such a great game.
Yeah.
Okay. This is another big. I'm hitting the big franchise.
Oh God, keep going. I spilled my coffee a little bit. It's hurting me. Continue.
Okay.
I just washed these yesterday.
This big franchise is the other shooter that is one of the biggest ever, and that is Halo. So the Halo, Halo games in general, I played through all of them, except for ODST completely. So up until Halo 4, because I think there's a fifth one.
I think it was
5.
Halo 1, 2, 3, Reach 4.
No, it was Halo 1, 2, 3, ODST.
Well, yeah, I know. I was just kind of...
Reach 4 and then 5.
Okay, so I said it almost completely right.
Pretty much.
No, you missed ODST, but it still has Halo 3 in the front.
Well,
yeah, because it's
ODST
an entirely
is a
different
premier game.
Yeah, ODST, you don't play as like.
I know you play as an orbital drop shock trooper. Orbital drop shock trooper.
You're trying your best. It's okay.
Orbital drop shock trooper.
There you go, Chief.
Okay. So,
Okay, Groudon. Let's
either
continue.
way. So, playing through the first Halo game, the second Halo game, I played it all with one of my friends, Anton, from back home. And we just it was just such a fun time. From the first one, which I actually don't recall if it had a split screen mode or not, because we played it on computer. But what we did was, I think we put two desktop computers next to each other on one desk, and we just sat next to each other doing an online game together. So it was I guess like kind of Hack Shack like couch co-op, but it counted. But then all the ones that had split screen, we like totally played through. You know, we would do it on normal first to get the story, and then we would do it on legendary and like do all the achievements, and especially Reach was like the biggest one that I played. I played through that campaign at least 20 times. Like we would just do it on repeat. We would like finish the last story and go back to the first one and just keep going. And that was just such a good story and such a good experience for couch co-op, because it was like just the right amount of difficulty and like achievability. Like you could do it, but it was hard, like especially if you did it on one of the harder modes. it was definitely difficult, and you would have to go back and retry a couple times, but it wasn't impossible. So it was just solid game. And then I mean, like the multiplayer as well was amazing. The Forge mode, which is where you can just mess around with your friends. That it sounds like my version of your Pikmin 2 was Halo Reach Forge mode, because we'd go in there, we just like put down 2 like weapons, and we just like go after each other and just like keep spawning things, and like, okay, now we're gonna do this kind of game, and we'll like spawn this in and like race at each other with warthogs or whatever until one of us flips over and dies. So it was just a blast. So Halo is a huge, like, another big franchise that I played through all the campaigns as like a couch co-op experience.
Yeah, I played those games a lot too, couch co-op. I think my favorite thing about like Halo 3 through Halo Reach was just the customization of them. Like with Forge mode, you could make these awesome maps. Like I remember playing through like racetrack maps on Halo 3, going through on the Warthogs.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
And the Mongoose, and just like the customization of the game modes. So I remember like we would do like snipers versus rocket launchers, or we'd do like infection. You could just make so many different game modes. So much fun.
Actually, there was one map that was a community map on Reach that we downloaded at one party that I went to, and it was called Super Happy Fun Slide, and it has since disappeared from like the ether. I cannot find history of this thing, but all it was you spawn in a room at the top. It's just a closed room, and there's just a ramp, and all it is just warthogs and a ramp, and you go down the ramp. And it at the bottom, it respawns you behind the spawn, so you build just infinite momentum going down this ramp.
Okay.
And then other people would spawn at the bottom, and their goal was to make it to the top to get a warthog and go down. Because whenever you die,
so they'd have to like go up the ramp and dodge warthogs.
Yeah, dodge just infinitely, just an onslaught of warthogs, and occasionally you'd hit a wall and just explode, and so then they would like hoof it up as you were like trying to respawn and build up speed again. So it was just that like map alone we put I think 14 straight hours into. Like we just did not sleep that night
on that one map.
Yeah, on just one map. At the end of it, when we finally ended the match, I had 1,000 assassinations. Oh, just assassinations, because what I did was I made it to the top and just spawn assassinated all of the people that were supposed to drive warthogs. So I literally had 1,000 assassinations at the end. It's just, what a fun time.
Good.
Yeah.
I didn't play too much Halo up until I got Halo Reach because it was free on Xbox, so I can't speak on that. So, do you have anything else to say before I bring up my next game?
No.
Okay, well, my next one is like a genre, but like just like fighting games, like scrolling fighting games, like Mortal Kombat or Soul Calibur, stuff like that. Like those games. Even there was the first one I probably played was Dead or Alive on the Xbox, which is like another one of those like fighting games that I have a lot of memories of playing, like on like this beach map where like women were in bikinis and shit like that. It was my parents let me play Mortal Kombat for some reason. I was in like second grade. I got Mortal Kombat Deception in 2002 when it came out for the GameCube. I played a lot of that. Mortal Kombat Deception came out in like 2005 or 6, and I rented it from Movie Scene, which I'm sure is now defunct as a business.
I have never heard of that before.
Movie Scene was another like one of those blockbuster stores.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I played a lot of that like with my friends, like my sister, my dad. Not only did it have just regular, just the Mortal Kombat fighting, it had this kind of like Bejeweled Tetris kind of game where you had to get combos while playing the game, and then you had a little character that would then like attack the other person when you like got like a Tetris or whatever.
Right.
And there was one other mode that I think, I'd love to play with somebody. It's like a chess game. You literally you build a team of Mortal Kombat characters, and you play chess. And every time two characters get on the same spot, you fight.
You like have a match?
You straight up have a match for that spot.
Whoa,
it was
such
a great mode, and I'd love, like, if you ever want to try it out, I will absolutely play it, because it was so fun. I don't know, you know, if you, either of you played Mortal Kombat, but fighting games in general I've loved since I was young. I'm pretty decent at them overall. And what?
I remember getting just absolutely slapped by you that one time we played Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, so like my like fighting game experience just goes back to like the Game Boy Advance. There was a Street Fighter game that came out that I loved, you know, all the way to like Injustice, Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. There's a new Mortal Kombat game coming out in a couple months. I'm going to be all over that. I think it's coming out on the Switch too, which is amazing.
Oh.
So yeah, like fighting games, I loved in general. I played so much of that with my family and got pretty decent at them. Played with my friends. I was always like the final boss of my friend group.
Oh yeah.
Because I would always pick one main in one of these games. And I would never lose. So like in Injustice, I was Shazam, and I like would not lose as Shazam. I just never lost, and I was actually pretty decent online too. But that's not split screen. But yeah, and then like Mortal Kombat and 9 or 10 on the 360. I was Smoke. You probably don't know who Smoke is, but he was a guy who could like vanish like in and out and like phase through people and just be a nuisance.
Yeah.
So I played a lot of Mortal Kombat and stuff with my family, and I've never really met like a potent challenger yet ever in my entire existence. Not to say I could ever go pro or anything, because I'm not that good. Just my friends that I have are really bad,
Right.
and so I'm just good in comparison. But I just want to throw those out there. I don't know if you've ever played any of those games when you were younger at all.
So me and my brother never really played like the typical fighting games. So like we didn't play Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
Street Fighter, stuff like that. The fighting game series that we did play all the time was Dragon Ball Z Budokai and Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi. Me and my brother put so many hours into those games. Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi 2, still one of my favorite games from the Wii.
Yeah.
So good.
Actually, so the only I guess real or like normal fighting game that I played was Soul Calibur, which has a great story, and the only character I ever played was Valdo, because he was the creepiest dude. Yeah, he like walked on his hands backwards and had like wore upside down masks and things like that just to creep people out, and he just had like knives for hands. He made no sense, but he was super fun, and that's all I ever played in Soul Calibur. But the other fighting games that I played were, I played a little bit of Dragon Ball Z fighting games, but mostly Naruto Shippuden.
Yes!
That
Naruto Shippuden.
That shit rocked. We would just play for hours, just like, I always, what was his name? I never watched Naruto, so I like totally
I've
didn't
watched
know
an
who.
extensive amount.
I didn't know who like anyone was. What was his name? Like Gaia, like the sand dude.
Oh, Gaara.
Gaara. I would
Gaara.
always play Gaara, and he had one move that was just like he made a big sand fist and just like pounded the other guy with it. And so I would just do that over and over because I'm not good at fighting games. So all I did was just sand fist these people, and they would just like, "What are you doing? That's not allowed." And I was like, "It's too bad." But we put so many hours into that Naruto game, and my friend's older brother, Adam, would come down every once in a while and be like, "Oh, are you guys playing Naruto?" And be like, "Yeah." And he'd be like, "Oh, can I jump in for a game?" And he would slaughter like any one of us. It was like unreal. We would be like, "Yeah, we're pretty evenly matched. We're pretty good at this game." And then he would come down, and it was just not a competition. He would always perfect us. He would never take damage. It was insane. The only time he would take damage was when he purposefully played as the worst character and had whoever he was playing against play the best character. And then he'd still beat them and only get hit like one time. And it was just, it was just good memories.
So they remastered that whole series for the Xbox One,
Really?
and I own it. So
The Naruto
Yep.
ones? Oh my
I think
god.
you ever want to play?
Is it Ultimate Ninja Storm?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what.
I
That's
have the
what.
entire series remastered.
Oh my
So
gosh.
you ever want to play? Let
What
me
a-
know.
We gotta have a
Throwback.
Naruto fight night. I don't really watch Naruto, but
We should do a fighting game night where,
you gotta play Mortal Kombat Deception Chess.
yeah, I'm
It's
down.
as good.
That
Like
sounds
it's
interesting.
so good. I would love that, so much.
Yeah.
It's your turn, Jared. What's
Is
your-
it my turn?
Did you just
I think
talk
it's
about?
Jay's.
No, I talk about fighting games.
Yeah,
So it's
it's
Jay's
Jay's
turn.
All right.
Let's keep it going. This is great.
So the next game that I have on my list, not sure if either of you have played it, but Castle Crashers.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I have put so many, way too many hours into Castle
What a
Crashers.
game.
Um, this is more like 8th, ninth grade, even getting into 10th, 11th, 12th, a little bit of college, since they remastered it on the Xbox One.
yeah.
So I have so many like memories of Castle Crashers. Me and my friends used to like have a sleepover in my basement, like 4 of us, and we'd just stay up all night beating Castle Crashers again and again. I've probably beaten that game like 20 times,
Wow.
maybe more than that. The Red Knight was like my main.
Nice.
I remember you could like level up through it and improve your skills like attack, stamina, speed, or magic, and I would always like put his magic all the way up before anything, and I would just like shoot a lightning beam continuously. So fun. I maxed out like 3 or 4 characters in that game. Definitely played it way too much, like 1,000 hours at least.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot
For
of
what?
hours.
Like a
to go.
4-hour campaign?
Yep. It takes you like 4 hours to beat the campaign, and then there's like a hard mode that you can do after you beat the campaign, but your progress doesn't save. So I remember me and my friends, we would get all of our snacks, go in the basement, turn the lights off, beat the final boss on normal mode, and then go on hard mode and just beat it through because your progress would not save.
Wow. That's really cool.
Yep, just one of those quirky like Xbox 360 arcade store games.
Yep.
Those games were so much fun.
Wow. Yeah, I played a bit of it. Definitely not 1,000 hours.
No,
Like,
me
it's
neither.
Probably like 20 to 30
Yeah.
hours, but it was definitely a
normal
fun
person would.
experience.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something. Because you were burping. I thought you were gonna continue talking.
No, that was it.
Yeah, I have Castle Crashers too. Not like my most like it's not like my kind of game really. So I've played bits and pieces of it and I do enjoy it, but it's not like a game where I'm like I like really want to play Castle
Yeah.
Crashers right now. But
Yeah.
you know, I'll pick it up from time to time. Like a couple
Yeah.
times a year, I'll play a little bit of it with Morgan or something.
All right.
Yeah.
So, this I guess so. I'm having a dilemma.
Jared's gonna say something stupid.
I'm not gonna say something stupid.
You always do. So
Wow.
Let's hear it.
Says the
Yikes.
person. Okay, it's fine. Whatever. Okay, so I have a quick game I could talk about, or I could talk about a genre.
Let's go with a genre. Unless
Okay.
you want to, you can do both. It's your list.
Long-term strategy games. I'm talking Civ 5 LAN mode, where you would literally, it was like seat switching. So this was like the way you could play Civ 5 as couch co-op would be you set up one computer and you take a turn and then you like hit end turn and it goes to your friend's turn. So then your friend would come sit down at the computer and do his turn, and then it would just keep going like that.
So would you watch your friend, or would you you had to walk away and let
No,
them...
we would like watch each other and be like, "You're an idiot. You're doing it wrong." Like taunt each other, and it was just like a great time. And so like we did it with Civ 5, but I also did it with my family, with the game called Heroes of Might and Magic, which I doubt either of you have played.
Absolutely.
Nope.
It was before online gaming was like a thing.
Yeah.
I'm talking, this was a CD-ROM that you put into a computer, and that would download this game, Heroes of Might and
Yes.
Magic, and we would play the heck out of that. And so what that was a it was this, like, you'd go around a map and you'd amass an army of different kinds of monsters. So you could have like behemoths and
Which
yes.
this is the one you played?
That one is I think that's the original one. I think I played Heroes of Might and Magic 3 or 4.
Let's look up 3.
But it was, so that's the combat style would be, yeah, that looks more like the one I played.
Okay.
So the combat style was it was turn-based, and you would move your people, like they each had a certain distance they could move on this like grid that wasn't quite top-down, but it was like an askewed like angle to a grid, and you each like nation or whatever you played as, each hero had like their specialty. So like the one I always played as is biggest guy you could get was a behemoth, which literally looked like a rancor, and would just like smash things. And so you could play as like beholders and all these different like nagas and like skeleton archers, and you'd have all these different guys, and it was just like a super fun game. And it was the same style where you would like sit down, do your turn, and then
Yeah.
you'd be like, okay, it's your turn now, and like get up and rotate.
Yeah.
And so you could do like other things while playing it, because you know a turn could take pretty long depending on what it was. It's just like that style of game where you like switched seats and like did these long games. These were not like Castle Crashers 4 hours. This
Yeah.
Civ 5 can take you like
Days.
80 hours like
Yeah.
to do one game. So
Yeah.
like that kind of grand strategy game with like the seat switching was like prime.
Yeah. I looked up Might and Magic Heroes. It has since been renamed to Heroes of Might and Magic.
That is what I called it. Yes.
No, you didn't.
I hate to break it to you, Chief.
No, you said you. That's not what you
Heroes
said.
of Might and of Magic. Yes.
Oh, sorry. No, it's called Might and Magic Heroes. That's
now.
what it's.
So
yes.
okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah, yeah.
misspoke.
No, that's okay.
New. Oh, no. I'm glad I have permission to be wrong sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Never give
So
me that
Might and
permission.
Magic Heroes 7 came out in 2015. That's its newest game.
Yep.
I didn't really play much of those games. I'm open to it. I just never really like had people that were like, "Hey, you should play this," so I didn't really. But I did play a lot of Civilization Revolution back in the
Right.
day, which I still own. You know, I pick it up from time to time. I actually tried it playing it like a week ago, and I'm like, I can't commit to this right now.
Yeah,
And I
it's a long
stopped.
commitment.
Yeah, but I mean, I love those kinds of games. I actually want to end up getting the new Civilization on the Switch because I think bringing Civilization on the go is
Civilization 6, right?
probably
6 or 7, yeah.
one of whatever the newest one is on the Switch. I'd love to get that at some point, and because that's not like Civilization Revolution is not like a real like mainline Civilization game. It's like the cartoony version of
Yeah.
it. You like the more accessible one. I really like to play like the authentic thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's where I'm with that. Yeah. We're closing it on an hour. Do you think that's good, or
Do you have any other...
like,
I
are
would
there
say,
any
like,
other like pressing games you really want to
Yeah.
bring up? Like, we don't need to end it here. I'm just throwing it out there that this is actually the longest. This is our first podcast to hit an hour in a
Yeah.
minute. Yeah, we've hit a minute. Good job.
Woo!
Yeah, we're at an hour now.
The only other game I can think of is just a quick name drop is Diablo 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I never played the Diablo
Yeah.
series, but I've heard that that's like one of the biggest names in gaming. So
Yeah, we could just like kind of just name drop the rest of our
Yeah.
list and
that's
yeah.
I
So
only have one more, so I'll just do that. This is a tiny game that I doubt anyone has ever played
Yeah.
except for me, which is it's called Yet Another Zombie Defense. That's it.
okay.
And it's just a title. It's like a top-down zombie defense waves. That's it. That's the whole game.
Yeah.
And it's just super simple art, not complicated, and you just play it with a friend and you just run around and that's it. That's the whole game, and it's so fun.
What the top
On
down you said?
Xbox.
Yeah.
It's just like a top-down. You like can build barriers and that's it. Like it's just a simple
Okay.
little game. Love it though.
I got two more just real quick. One of them is Hunter's the Reckoning or Hunter the Reckoning.
Okay.
I had it on GameCube and Xbox. I don't know what happened to the GameCube version, but it looks like this. Essentially, the premise is like it's just like a zombie apocalypse in like New York City. You can play as a cast of 4 characters. This guy's name is the Judge. He has a bow and arrow, and he uses like a cross and like burns people with it. There's a guy who carried around like a big axe that he could like set on fire. A police officer, I forget her name. And then there was one other girl who was called the Martyr, and she had like double pistols and stuff. And that was like so much. It gave me nightmares actually. Like the intro to that movie to the game was really like, I don't know, but really surreal and like, I don't know, specific. Let's see if I can find the cast of characters. I can't, so I'm not going to show you. But yeah, that game I liked a lot. And then also this one is actually a huge game in my life. Gauntlet Dark Legacy is one of my most nostalgic games of all time. Very not known, very kind of underappreciated. It was just like a, 4-person, like, it was like an RPG basically. There's like different classes of people, as you could probably tell from the cover. You go from world to world. You'd have to recover shards to like enter this realm to defeat this like devil guy basically. And it's also the game that Morgan, who is my girlfriend, for those who don't know, we bonded over this game. We found out that we both knew this really obscure game. She came over to play the game, and we kind of just went from there. So this is the game that brought us together. Otherwise, she probably never would have come to my house to hang out, and who knows what would have happened.
That's for all the Tracys out there to know.
Oh, we never name dropped the Tracys.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I always played this guy. This guy was the jester who would throw bombs and stuff. And he was also like the fastest character. Just so many memories with this game. I need to like find it for the GameCube and own it. It's on sale for $358 on eBay for the GameCube. So that's
Yeah.
I had it for the
Not
GameCube
too
once
bad.
upon a time, and I don't know what happened to it. If I knew I was sitting on $358, I wouldn't sell it, but I'd be like, I wish I had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Wow.
two other games that I had on my list.
Yeah.
The first one was Xbox 360, Army of Two.
Not too familiar with it.
I recall that.
Yeah. This game was like, you could play it on your own, but
It's
it's
literally called
built
Army
for
of Two.
yeah, Army of Two. It's built for co-op play. Me and my brother played through it. It came out around the time that like Halo 3 and the Xbox 360 came out. It was like, yeah, it was just built for co-op. Like I remember there was this like power that you could do where you'd stand back to back and like shoot everybody around in a circle. That game was a lot of fun. Me and my brother played through that. They came out with a follow-up game which wasn't quite as good, but we still played through it. And then the other game, which is more of a series, is the MLB 2K series, which not quite a couch co-op, but me and my brother turned it into a couch co-op on the 360. The first one we got, I think, was MLB 2K7. It had Jose Reyes on the
I
cover.
hope you said 2K6, because 2K6 I drained time into with my dad, because I did a
Yeah.
similar thing. Derek Jeter was on the
Yeah,
cover of 2K6.
we did have that one, but we didn't have it before. Like, we went back in, like, 2010 and bought it, but, like, we'd just set up a season mode. We'd each control a team and then, like, simulate whoever's team did better. Like, we did stuff like that, and we'd play, like, each other. You could play, like, one-on-one in it, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Poured hours and hours into the MLB 2K series. I wish it was still a thing, because it was a lot of fun. And I would love a baseball series again on the Xbox.
Yeah, one sad thing about being an Xbox owner and a baseball fan at the same time is that we get the RBI baseball games, which are
Yeah.
just straight up garbage.
Well, PlayStation gets MLB The Show.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sad days.
I would love to see MVP Baseball brought back. Me and my brother played that a lot on the GameCube.
Was that like another like mainline like MLB game, or was
Yep,
it?
it was EA's MLB game. The last one
okay.
they came out with was
Oh,
MVP
yeah.
Baseball 2005.
Oh, so that was way back when.
Yeah.
In my opinion, greatest baseball game of all time.
MVP Baseball
2005.
Okay.
Wow.
I actually
Strong words from Jay.
just picked it up recently
Wow.
for the GameCube, but my Wii does not run GameCube games anymore.
Oh.
So my GameCube's here, so if you ever want to toss
We
it in
will
the...
have to try it out.
Yes, that is true.
I actually, real quick, thought of one more.
Nope, we're done.
Rip.
Portal 2.
Portal.
That's it. That's the whole...
I didn't play Portal.
Did you play Portal at all?
A little bit. A little
That's
bit.
just- I think that's a very famous puzzle game that was co-op. The co-op mode you played is Atlas and Peabody, and it was just fun, and put a bunch of hours into that. Yeah.
One more co-op game. Manual Samuel.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
A game that you could watch
Bring
back
it back.
retroactively on our Facebook, which we streamed last Friday, and as we stream every Friday on facebook.com/what do you mean, where we are recently new members of the Facebook Level Up program.
Ah, you brought it back.
Yes.
That was a good transition.
Yeah, I'm so good
Alright.
at these. Yeah.
There you go, Noah.
Hmm?
All right.
So there you go.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was a good conversation. Good hour and 7 minutes going on. But yeah, seriously, Facebook every Friday we stream. We got a new Let's Play series coming out on Tuesday. We're super excited about that. Yeah, that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Next Sunday, same time, same place for the Awkward Encounters podcast episode 4. That's
Yeah.
it. That's it for me. You have any parting words, Jay? Thank you for coming on. You were
Yeah,
great.
it's been a pleasure.
I really appreciate it.
thank
We
you for-
love you so much.
Yeah,
You're fine, I guess.
yeah, y'all are all right.
Oh, that's so nice. of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, your channel's kind of cool.
That's the nicest thing any of our guests have ever said.
Yeah, we've never had a guest before.
Exactly. Wow,
Set-
way to explain
yeah.
the joke.
Setting the bar real high here.
Any parting words for you, Jared?
No.
As if we care.
Wow. No, thank you
That's
for
harsh.
coming. Thank you for listening. If you've listened all the way through, that's real nice of you. Appreciate that. That rhymed a little bit, by the way.
Yes, it did.
Want to throw that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's it. Thank you.
Sweet. All right.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.